the highest number with regards to unemployment in 11 years.
Because we are in a serious crisis.
Coding bootcamps that have pioneered new ways to teach tech skills in a fraction of the time and the cost.
There's no need even to have a college degree. Bill Gates, Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college.
Start your career in tech. With a HyperionDev Bootcamp, you will study better. With coding, you'll get stuck. It's part of the journey, no problem. With us, you'll have your own mentor, and our small classes mean personal attention. Learn faster. Start coding from day one. No time wasted, no abstract theory. You'll build real stuff right away. Finish quicker. Learn to code in 3 to 6 months. Study part-time or full-time from anywhere. The beach, your local coffee shop, or even your bed. Or join us on site at either our Cape Town or Johannesburg campuses. Your hours, your rules, your future. Prepare harder. With us, you'll build your online portfolio, get advice on your technical CV, practice job interviews, and connect with top companies. We'll help you get your dream job. Earn sooner. A more practical and high-speed course means you'll land that first gig quicker. Plus, you'll pay less. Win-win. And when your bootcamp is finished, the word you're waiting to hear, you're hired. A bootcamp qualification can get you a job at top tech companies and startups around the world. An average entry-level coder salary starts at 280,000 Rand per year and rises quickly with additional experience. Coding is for everyone. From school leavers to entrepreneurs, from designers to accountants. They've all learned to code with us because we're passionate about closing the tech skills gap. Now it's your chance to fast-track your career. Join HyperionDev to start your tech career today. Free trials available.
Hey guys, welcome everyone to HyperionDev's virtual open day. So today we're going to chat more about how our coding bootcamps can help you get job ready and into a tech career in around about 6 months. So over the course of the next 90 minutes, the different team members, specifically in our education team, and also our careers team, will give you an overview of our bootcamps. They'll tell you how they work and answer all of your questions. I'm going to start by briefly explaining what we're going to be going through over the course of the program. So, number one, we're going to play a short video highlighting our Cape Town and Joburg campuses. We're then going to give you an in-depth explanation of the study options that you have available to you, and our education team is going to go in detail and chat about our part-time and our full-time bootcamps and how they both run online and on-site. You know, everybody has different learning styles. After that, we're going to go into specifics about each bootcamp and what they teach. Our education team is going to tell you how the engineering, the software engineering, the full stack web developer, and the data science bootcamps work, and what you're going to learn over the next 3 to 6 months of intensive coding and what those bootcamps involve. Jenna from our education team will then tell you about our latest and most advanced bootcamp, the Certified Full Stack and Software Engineering Bootcamp, which teaches a blend of both web dev and software engineering skills, as well as a few other languages that we've learned that companies require for them to bring on developers as part of their new tech skills. This is going to be followed by a mentorship and careers information session, and then closing remarks from our CEO, Riaz Mullah. We also have a prize draw where you can win if you complete our survey. I'm going to talk more about that at the end of the evening, and if you have any questions, please just shout. For more detailed questions on the courses and your specific career path, we're going to be hosting a career session afterwards. A Q&A session afterwards, where our experts are going to be able to answer your questions individually and give you some of the answers that you really want to know. Feel free to also post all of your questions on our live chat so that we can have a record of them and make reference to them in the Q&A session. Right? I want to start off by introducing our campus. Let's go to it. Awesome. So as you can see, we've got campuses in two of the most centrally located spots in Joburg and Cape Town. Once the lockdown ends and things go back to normal, we'd love to invite you over so you can actually take a walkthrough of the campus, meet some of the mentors, and see the campus set up for yourself. Great spaces to work in, both in Rosebank and in Cape Town at the Woodstock Exchange. So I'd like you to meet our team and the team that makes all of this possible, our education team. I'm going to hand over to them and let Niku, Sobane, Jenna introduce themselves, as well as members from the careers team, Petrus and Julia.
Thank you, Shem. Hi, everyone. Niku Kruger here. I'm the head of education at HyperionDev. So excited that everyone's here. Please enjoy the evening with us.
Thank you, Nico. Hi, everyone. My name is Sobane. I'm the Education Operations Manager at HyperionDev. Very excited to be chatting to you today.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jenna. I am the Technical Content Writer at HyperionDev.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Petrus Vessels, and I'm the Account Executive for the Careers team.
Okay, so I'm going to hand over to the education team now, and they're going to give you some more details on the bootcamp. As I said, they are the experts, and they're constantly refining our bootcamps to be able to offer up to speed and latest industry trend information and requirements. Take it over, Niku.
Thanks so much, Shem. Yes, everyone. So what I'm going to be looking at with you tonight is our part-time versus full-time options. So it's super exciting that you have that as an option. It might not suit you to come in full-time. You might want to rather study in the evenings. That gives you that specific option. So going into our first looking at our full-time bootcamps or full-time option. So all of our bootcamps are offered with this option of full-time, and you would be required to look at around 8 to 10 hours study per day for 5 days a week. You'll be studying, if you were to study full-time, the following bootcamps, are data science, software engineering, and web development bootcamps run full-time for 3 months, and then the Immersive Bootcamp, as she mentioned, our new credit-bearing bootcamp runs for 6 months full-time. The full-time study can be done on site for the following bootcamp. So that's for our software engineering and web development bootcamp. You unfortunately can't do the data science on site yet. And then some other things just to take note of. So you will be doing tasks in your bootcamp. For our full-time tasks, the turnaround time for that, so that's when our reviewers review your tasks and provide feedback to you. That's a 36-hour turnaround time. The course, and one other important thing to just remember about a full-time studies, the course material has no start restriction. So you can move through the bootcamp as quickly as you want. As you finish the content, the next content is made available to you. So let's move on to our part-time bootcamp and just have a look at that. So for part-time, you can look at our data science, software engineering, and web development bootcamps. They run over 6 months, and you'd be required to study about 4 to 5 hours per day. That's 5 days a week. The part-time study can be done on-site also, like with the full-time for our software engineering and web development bootcamps. And some interesting things here, as I mentioned, the review time, turnaround time for, for us looking at your task, providing feedback, that's 48 hours for the part-time bootcamps. And then one big thing to note here, not like with the full-time bootcamps, unfortunately here the course material is staggered. So it runs with each of the months. You can't progress as quickly as you want. You can for the specific month that you're in, but your level 1 would run with your first month. So once you've completed that level, even if you do it quicker, you can only start with the second level in the second month. So yeah, from here on, I'm going to hand over to Subani, who's going to talk to you a bit about our on-site and online options. Over to you, Subani.
Great, thanks, Nico. Hi again, everyone. My name is Sobani. So I will, building up from that, I'll be talking a little bit about what we offer on-site versus online. As you heard already, in terms of the study mode, you can take our bootcamps either on a full-time basis or on a part-time basis. However, there is also a question of your learning preferences, right? Do you prefer online remotely, or do you prefer in-person, face-to-face type kind of support mechanism? So yeah, let's just get right into it. When we look at our online, again, you can take it either on a full-time basis or part-time, and then versus on-site, which you can also take it on a full-time or part-time basis, 3 months versus 6 months. Now, specifically for on-site, this means you'll be coming into one of our campuses Monday to Friday between 10 and 4 p.m. And then similarly for part-time, you'll be coming into campus for, consultations or support sessions on Tuesday evenings, Wednesday evenings, and Thursday evenings. So that's pretty much 3 days a week. Now, in terms of the actual how you progress through the boot camp, online mode is actually self-study, and you move at your own pace. So what this means exactly is that you actually go through the boot camp on your own, and then you've got your mentor who will be with you every step of the way. But I'll get into the details of that further down the line. Contrary to on-site, where the overall program is very rigid, it's structured. So there's a specific schedule that you follow. Remember, if you're on a full-time track, then you have 3 months to spend on campus. This means each day you come in, you go through your daily lectures, you follow a very specific already preset schedule until you complete the boot camp. And then the advantage there is that obviously you are there, you've got all the support you need, face-to-face, in person, right there. And now, when it comes to support mechanisms, overall, I would say, they're pretty much the same. However, when it comes to, so all of our students essentially, actually, you get to be assigned a specific mentor, as I mentioned. And this mentor supports you right from the beginning all the way through the end. And how this happens is, you engage with this mentor through different support channels. These include, emails, live chat through your dashboard, or through other student platforms and avenues that we have, and also through regular one-on-one mentor sessions, which I'll also chat about them right after this. And so yeah, basically, whether you're online or on-site, you actually get to be paired up with a specific mentor throughout your bootcamp. So as you can see, if you're on-site, you have your physical support, but you also have access to our online support, which is pretty great. Now, looking into the one-on-one mentor sessions, so as I mentioned, these are literally available to all of the students right throughout your journey. And each month, every student is entitled to about 8 calls per month. So this sort of breaks down to about two a week, depending on your needs as you go. Some students literally want to utilize this every week. Some students only use these calls when they need them. So how this works is you actually have an option. As soon as you're enrolled, you will get access to your own specific dashboard through which you can do a whole lot of other things. One of the specific things that you do there is actually booking a call with your mentor whenever you need it. And so these sessions are usually between 30 to 1 hour. And this is literally the time that you and your mentor actually use to engage a lot more or to dive deeper into whatever concepts or topics or literally anything that you may have been stuck on as you move, as you go, right? So there's that. And then when it comes to grading and code reviews, you heard from Nico mentioning how the feedback turnaround works. But essentially, all the kind of marking as you complete the tasks is done through online or through our online code reviewers. So just to emphasize here for Onsite, you will be learning everything. You'll be getting teaching from your lecturers on the ground. You'll be getting assistance from your on-site mentors. However, none of them will actually be reviewing your tasks. That your grading will be done purely online through our code reviewing team. But both of them will still be able to actually communicate any feedback flow or any questions that you might have around whatever feedback that you would have got as a result of your code review. So that happens for all the students, whether you're online or on-site. And then next up, we also have a very healthy and fast and continuously growing student community, which everybody has access to. And this is facilitated through two platforms, basically. We have the Discord channel, some of you might know it. We also have an internal forum. So each of these, the main purpose is literally to keep the engagement going, to promote and encourage peer-to-peer learning. Students share resources from time to time, but also to give you an opportunity to engage with a wide range of other mentors who are not necessarily your own, assigned mentor. And over the years, we have found that these communities actually play a very important role for students, where they feel a sense of belonging. So it's really encouraged that as soon as you enroll, then you make use of this. And then finally, for each of the tracks, we also have group tutorials from time to time. These are essentially carefully, selected topics by, the department and the mentors, depending on, as you go, if they find that, okay, cool, students seem to be struggling a lot more when they reach topic X, Y, Z on this level of this bootcamp. So from time to time, they organize group tutorials which you can join. But yeah, all of this actually gets communicated in advance. So that's pretty much it, guys, with regards to the slight differences between online and on-site. Again, at the end of the day, it all depends on your preferred learning style. So moving up, I will we'll be looking into the specifics of each bootcamps. So over to you, Nico.
Thanks, Subhani. Thanks for that. All right, so what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to take you through a look at our software engineering bootcamp. So with software engineering, you're going to be looking at overall, you're going to be looking at fundamentals of programming, software engineering, and machine learning. But in the bootcamp itself, there are 3 levels, each level with a different amount of tasks that you will complete as you progress through the bootcamp. So level 1, looking at the basic programming skills in Python. It's got about 25 tasks that you need to complete there. Level 2, software engineering in Java, 23 tasks that you have to run through there. And then at level 3, you're going to be going into more of the databases, the backend, working in databases in SQL, using Python, libraries like NumPy and SciPy for data analysis and machine learning. So quite interesting what you go into there. Also be doing interview preparation on complex concepts. And then the software engineering bootcamp itself, as mentioned by myself and Subhani, you've got the options. You can either look at it on an online basis or on site, or you can look at the mode of going in part-time or full-time. So I'm going to hand over to Subhani, who's going to tell you a little bit more about our full-stack web development bootcamp. Subhani?
Sorry, Niku, I'm going to take over this one.
No problem. Sorry, guys. Jenna is actually going to take over this one for us, and she's going to tell you a little bit about the full stack web development bootcamp. Thanks, Jenna.
Cool, thanks, Niku. Cool. Yeah, so our full stack web development, I mean, full stack is something that is thrown around left, right, and center in your web development industries, but we really do take you on the full journey from the front end to the back end. And what's great about this is that you can actually start even if you have absolutely no experience with coding. So what we do is we start in level 1 with our basic front-end languages, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Don't worry if all of this sounds completely foreign if you end up deciding to take this bootcamp, all will be revealed. But basically what HTML, CSS, and JavaScript do is they give you the front end of your website. So your HTML is literally your skeleton of a website. If you think of your most basic website back in the 90s, that is HTML. Then CSS creates a little bit of style on our HTML, it just makes things look a little bit better. And then JavaScript helps us to create a way to interact with the website. So then that leads us to level 2, which takes us to React, Express, and Node, which are all frameworks for JavaScript, where we can create what's called a dynamic website. So, you know, if we click a button, what's it going to do? Where's it going to take us? What effects can we create? What animations? You know, it's really creating a proper high-quality website. Then finally, in level 3, we go on to full stack, which is where we look at the back end with MongoDB, as in databases. So just to give you an idea of something that you might be able to create by the end of this course, if you think of an online store, for example, if you log into an Amazon or a Takealot or something like that, if you've got an account, all of the stock that they have would need to sit on a database. All of the information that they have about all of their customers would need to be on a database, and that is what you'll be creating, literally from the back end, where you would keep all of that information all the way to the front to what the actual user sees. You're also going to be looking at things like user experience and user integration and user interfaces on how the best way is to create a website, what is intuitive for someone to use or not. And then finally, at the end, we work with our complex concepts, our typical interview questions, things that will not necessarily be covered. They're a little bit more theoretical because they are interview preparation questions, but we take you through them, we give you examples, we help you understand them properly. And like with software engineering, this course is available online and on-site, and full-time and part-time. And then I just wanted to share a little success story with you guys. We had a student called Jacques start with us in August last year. He started part-time with our full stack content online, and he graduated in January. He then went on to sort of progress further in his web development studies, and now recently in July he has gotten a job as a lead web developer at BankerX, which is amazing. And I think that's really what this bootcamp is about. You know, it's about really getting stuck into the basics, and then you know, it's up to you where you take it. And I'll get into a little bit more detail about that in the immersive course. But yeah, no, this is a really great one to take. Next, Sobane is going to chat to you about our data science bootcamp.
Great. Thanks so much, Jen, for taking us through the Web Dev Bootcamp. Yeah, I'll be talking a little bit more about what our Data Science Bootcamp has to offer. But before we get into that, I mean, I just want to, you know, we can all agree here that probably data science is actually one of the hottest emerging careers in tech space at the moment. And, you know, very much sought after as well. And this is purely because, I guess, you know, with business evolution, a lot of business owners and employers are actually starting to realize how important data is in terms of key strategic business decisions and operations. So it's really, you know, it has opened up a whole, you know, a wide range of lucrative options there that you can follow. So definitely, if you're interested in analytics or the data science space, then this is the bootcamp for you. Just like other bootcamps, you do not necessarily need any sort of IT or coding background to take this bootcamp. However, I should actually emphasize this, a very strong foundation or aptitude rather of statistics and discrete mathematics will definitely go a long way, and it's actually would be advantageous for you to actually, cruise through the bootcamp. But again, it's not a prerequisite, but it's just a recommendation. Now, again, similarly, we have 3 modules, which we call levels. And starting out with, you will actually learn the Python basics through Python for Data Science. And, just to highlight here, the reason we selected Python specifically for this bootcamp is because Python is very beginner friendly. It's currently the language of choice for data science, just, due to its adaptability and versatility. And, it's also pretty much a scripted language. So there's a lot of interesting things you can do with Python. So in your first level of this bootcamp, you actually learn the programming essentials, all the fundamentals, literally everything you need to know as far as programming is concerned. And then you move on to level 2, module 2, which is data analytics and exploration. Now, this is where, things start to be a little bit more interesting, because once you've learned the basics in Python, you then go over to learn how to then extract data from different sources. So, for example, you have your JSON, you have your XML, you have CSVs, and so forth. So you learn actually how to extract data from these sources and do what you need to do with it. And then this is also the module where you learn, you dive deep into databases, in particular SQL and SQLite. Learn how to actually connect databases, how to query, how to write queries or interesting, very complicated queries through a database, and then how to actually extract custom reports. And again, you also, learn how to use some interesting Python data science packages such as NumPy, SciPy, and so forth. And you may have heard Nico mention them earlier in the software engineering bootcamps for module 3. You actually dive a lot more deeper into those through this bootcamp at this module. And then finally wrapping that module up, you get into the, you have learned how to extract data, you've learned how to query this through a, database and pull reports, and then reporting. How do you actually then visualize this? So you also learn, some really useful tools here. Mentioning a few, we have Tableau, Matplotlib, and these actually allow you to create and generate some really fancy graphs, bar charts, and so forth in terms of how you present this data, how you segment it, whatever reason you need to use it. So yeah, really from module 2 onwards, that's where really you actually get into the gist of what's happening in the data science field or the data science world. And then we ended off with machine learning and AI. Now, this is where the real hardcore stuff happens. If you remember earlier, I did mention the statistics. This is where really you get to dive deeper into it. You start off with some statistical modeling, machine learning there. And this is specifically where you learn things like, linear regression or logistic regression, analysis, and so forth through supervised or unsupervised learning. And then you then also move on into some clustering algorithms, because this module basically puts everything together. You have learned everything with the data, and then how do you then use this data to actually make, intelligent business decisions or, analysis and so forth. So yeah, that's what you learn in level 3. And then you also go through decision trees, and very interesting as well. Probably some of you may have heard of this. This is also where you get to learn about neural networks. If you're in biology, this might be familiar with you. It's exactly the same concept, but just in a different sort of context. So you learn what a neural network is, different types of neural networks, and how to actually train a neural network. And very interestingly, we also throw you into the deep end here via a real life example. So through that, one of the tasks there, one of the capstones, we actually utilize some data set from an existing very large organization. So if you are really interested in data manipulation and so forth, definitely this is the bootcamp for you. It's very challenging, I won't lie, but it's super exciting. It's really, really super exciting. And yeah, just in terms of, data science, we haven't actually had data science for quite a long time. It's been our third, it's our third bootcamp, but so far we have already had some interesting success stories. One of the students who registered, who enrolled into the first cohort of data science, his name is Sedestro Pile. He was actually coming from a financial consultancy background. He decided to dive into the data science space, and then he did the bootcamp on a full-time basis. And then 2 months later, he actually got a job at Deloitte as a data analyst within the actuarial science space. So there is really, interesting career opportunities that this bootcamp can open up to you. Some of the fields which haven't actually been tapped into. So yeah, That's really the story about data science. And similarly, at the end of the bootcamp, we also, help prepare you through some interview preparation and additional short projects which you can complete to continue practicing as you hone your skills as you go through our career support, which you'll hear about it later on. And unfortunately, fortunately for data science, it's only available through the online mode of study, but you can take it either on a full-time or part-time basis. Yeah, that's it about data science. I will now hand back over to Jenna to tell us a bit more about our newest bootcamp.
Thanks, Avani. So our immersive course, this is our newest baby. We had our first cohort start in July. It's been really, really exciting. It's been a wonderful process. And basically what we did is we created this course as a culmination of our web dev and our software engineering as a result of speaking to different companies, especially in South Africa, and asking them what kind of developers they've been looking for. And basically what we came to the conclusion of is we need people who can do software engineering as well as web dev. And the kind of cherry on top that we added to this is PHP. So PHP is a language that is particularly popular in South Africa for web development. And so this is the PHP and the WordPress sections is something that you will not find in our other bootcamps. So this is by far our most intense, of course. As Nico mentioned, of full-time versus part-time, we still expect 8 to 10 hours of work a day for 5 days a week, but this is now over 6 months, not 3. So you just need to be prepared for that. Our level 1 starts with our basic fundamentals again. We start with basic programming concepts in JavaScript, which is also a fairly basic language. It's quite similar to Python in that way, that it's a really nice way to kind of get the nitty-gritty of what programming actually is without getting bogged up in syntax first. So we start with JavaScript, we then move on to HTML and CSS. We also add SCSS, which is a sort of overlayer of CSS that just makes things a little bit more manageable, a little bit more maneuverable. Once you're comfortable with that, we then move to level 2, which is our advanced software engineering concepts in Java. That includes things like object-oriented programming. We look at algorithms, recursion, specific debugging methods. We sort of get into the base of that, looking at things like big O notation and your more sort of complicated software engineering concepts. Here we also look at databases, and we introduce SQL into this section as well, but I'll get to that in a second. And then level 3, we finish off with our MERN stack, like we do in the web dev content with React, Node, Express, and Mongo. But we also add PHP and WordPress, as I mentioned. So it's a much further extended course, but people have been doing really, really well on it. We've really been enjoying the process with our students. And just going back to the database content in level 2, we have content for databases in accreditation, in association with MasterSkill. So that means that this course is actually accredited. You will get NQF credits for completing this course, which is really exciting. Next slide, please. Thank you. So what is included in this course? We have a mentor dedicated to our immersive students only. So with all of our other content, we have mentors who are capable in all of our courses. But this one, we have a mentor that is only currently dealing with immersive students. So it's a much more kind of intimate experience. You learn from your own peers because you're always dealing with the same small group of people. I also just wanted to mention a second the mentor that we have. He is actually someone who started with us as a student. He was a full-time software engineer student at the beginning of this year. And he did such an amazing job that we actually absorbed him into the company before we could get anyone else to hire him, so that we could keep him for ourselves. And he's just flourished, and he's done an amazing job. His name is Dale, and you'll actually hear about him a little bit later as well. So this content is all online, but we do on-site check-ins. At the moment, because of COVID, it's all actually been online. We've been doing online check-ins. But the intent is for us to end up doing on-site check-ins. Basically, these are check-ins that happen once a month, where everyone gets together and we go through some of the content. We follow tutorials of content that the particular students of that cohort have been struggling with, so just to reinforce your learning. And then we'll also bring in content of things that we still think is relevant, but didn't quite make it into the actual curriculum of the bootcamp. So we've been looking at things like Bootstrap. We're looking at things like more in-depth object-oriented programming, more sort of practical examples of that, because there's only so much that we can fit into the curriculum in 6 months. So we just give you a little bit more of an opportunity to practice those once a month in person. We also have peer-to-peer learning. At the moment, we are putting together projects for students to complete in pairs, because something that I think falls by the wayside is that a lot of the time you don't end up programming by yourself in the real world. So we want to get you practicing good coding habits, reducing tech debt by coding with other people who might not be able to read your code as well as you do. It's kind of like reading your own handwriting. So we try and put that into practice. The benefits, as well as I mentioned, is you get NQF educational credits. And finally, you get a guaranteed 3-month internship. So after your 6 months, we will then place you with one of our affiliated partners as a 3-month internship. And if you don't get the internship, then you get some money back. So yeah, really amazing option, this one. We are so, so proud of this course. Our second cohort is starting in September. And I don't know how many spots there are left, but it's worth asking. But yeah, that's everything from the immersive course. Back to you, Shin.
Wow, awesome. That's a lot of information, and I'm sure that you guys have a lot of questions. I'm actually seeing them coming in. I want to just address a couple of them because I think that there's quick answers to it. But guys, don't forget that we have that specific Q&A session afterwards. Each one of you guys has your own path, you have your own circumstances, and I'm sure that you have your own questions. So please make sure you stick around for that. Another thing is just to make mention of exceptional students who we take on. Jenna was also one of our students who completed the software engineering bootcamp, and now she's heading up our learning and content function. So yeah, it's always great to be able to see our students succeed in ways like that. With regard to the questions, I just want to say I'm loving the exchange between Hila and Samantha. And yes, Hila, any age is an age to start coding. Interesting fact, and also maybe touching on Mtlagi's question, we actually started focusing on individuals who were in the working professional market. So working professionals who had a job, who were working full time. And our mentorship then sort of evolved when we opened up our on-site campus to cater to a younger crowd. But that being said, the core of where we started and what we're doing is to get you into a career in tech by taking you, adjusting our mentorship to your hours, doing those weekly check-ins, getting you a speed turnaround time on your code review so that you can juggle working and also studying with us at the same time. There was also another question around about 8 to 10 hours. Yes. That includes homework, self-research. I mean, as a developer, you're constantly learning. So if you can dedicate just 8 to 10 hours at a minimum per week, that should be sufficient enough to get you through the tasks. But look, once again, it's the quality of tasks or the quality of submissions that's important, because that creates your profile. That's what gets hiring companies interested in you. But most importantly, that's what gets you used to the skill sets and the practical coding abilities to be able to create value in whatever you choose to do, in whatever industry, in whatever company, right? So the more time you put in, the better. We've allocated about 8 to 10 hours. Yeah, so just please don't stop asking questions. There's a couple of technical questions at the bottom. That's super great. Talia, you asked a really cool question around why are we doing this full-time and why is the intensive course specifically full-time? That's because we're trying to get students who can't afford university to try and get them to study with us. And it's more of a full-time period. A lot of the universities are going online at the moment. But that being said, we do have it on the card to look at an intensive course over a part-time period, which will be a much longer course. But please, once again, these are conversations that you can have with your admissions consultant. If you go to the description and post at the bottom, click at the bottom, the link, fill out your details. One of our admissions consultants will be with you. Let them know what your situation is. We'll definitely assist you as much as we can, because look, not everybody has the same coding journey. When I was in school, the curriculum was all the same, and I was taught English just like the way that everybody else around me was taught English or maths. Coding is not like that, right? So it's very specific, and the path that we take you on to get you those practical skills, we try and tailor that to your time frame, to your learning ability as much as possible. Okay, so once again, I'm going to reiterate, stick around for a Q&A session, and we can answer these questions a little bit more specifically. And then even further than that, you can reach out to the admissions mentor by clicking the contact link at the bottom. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do now is I would like you to see our mentors, and we have some recorded videos of them introducing themselves. It'll be good to get a vibe, because it's important to connect with them and understand how they communicate. So yeah, we're just going to share some intro videos from our mentors. Go for it, Sam.
Hi everyone, my name is Imran, and I am a HyperionDev mentor. I help students, much like yourself, achieve their career goals by supporting them during their bootcamp. Here at HyperionDev, we understand that everyone's different, so if you need that extra boost to get you over the finish line, whether you need some help with code or a simple encouragement message just to feel at ease, I'll be here with you just to do that. So yeah.
Hey guys, my name is Dale. You can call me Sensei if you like. I'm one of the mentors at HyperionDev. I do a lot of the software engineering students, but I'm mostly focusing now on the Immersive Bootcamp. So if you want to say hi and you want me to be helping you crack those coding conundrums, sign up for that, and I'll see you in Discord and the other communication forums that we use. And yeah, so see you then.
Hi there, my name is Nizam, and I'm an on-site mentor here at HyperionDev. What my role basically boils down to is tending to each of the on-site students here on the campus. That means making sure that they've received their lectures, also giving them lectures if need be, and assisting them with any issues and or misunderstandings they might have with their tasks or their code, and just basically all-around assisting. So essentially, I'm just a guy being a dude and helping people out.
Okay, that was really nice. Okay, cool. So guys, I think what's most important here is, how does our course get you ready for a job, right? Are you going to be skilled enough to be able to work for a company that you want to and work in an industry that you want to? So of course, the journey you take after graduating from our coding bootcamps is just as important as learning to code. We aim to support you on that journey. So we understand the challenges of getting your first coding job. We offer career support to help maximize your chances of getting that job, especially if it's a junior role and you don't have any working experience. And all of that is near the end of your bootcamp and also after you complete your bootcamp. So I'd like you to hear from our careers team. I'm going to hand over to Petrus Wessels, who will be able to talk to you more about the post-graduation journey and the support that we provide for you, and how you can start creating that technical CV. It's your portfolio of work, and also coaching you through that interview process. Take it over, P.
Hi there, everyone. I'm Petrus Wessels. As I mentioned earlier, I'm the account executive for our careers department. And what we do at HyperionDev Careers is we have launched a platform that helps connect our bootcamp graduates to job opportunities with our various hiring partners. And throughout your bootcamp, you'll be completing specific build your brand tasks, where you will be creating a LinkedIn profile, a GitHub page, where you showcase some of your side projects and coding that you've done. And by the end of your bootcamp, you will have a complete HyperionDev careers profile, which you'll use to apply to relevant jobs. Cool. So how this works is our team is split into two focuses. One of which is finding specific companies that are relevant to your skills. And the second is driving engagement, your engagement with these specific jobs. In terms of how we do this is we shortlist profiles based on the technology tags that you add to your profile, and we'll then follow up that you apply to that job, as well as follow up with the companies to see if they've received your application and if they would be interested in meeting with you for an interview. So a couple of companies we've been working with recently, that's very exciting. You'll see some of their logos here. The first one there is a new food delivery app that was launched by one of our ex-graduates, a company called Meet the Chef. The second, iMedia, company based in KZN. Bitcube is a very big software development company based in the Free State, but they've got offices in Cape Town and Johannesburg and have really awesome remote work options. And then Trinity Internet of Things is a telco company that also has employed one of our ex-students, and we have a really good relationship with them. In terms of our platform, you can have a look at some of our social pages on LinkedIn, on Instagram. We're also on TikTok. But what we want to tell you here is that our platform is really easy to use, very specific to your specific skills, and there won't be any spam. Your applications go to the right person for the right job. Thanks, Shim.
Awesome. Guys, once again, this is major stuff, and there's a lot of personal information that would be relevant in trying to advise you into which is the best course to take, which are the careers you should be looking out for. So please reach out to our admissions consultants, and you can submit a contact form at the bottom. We're going to be closing off with an address by our CEO, Riaz Mullah. But first, before we do that, I want to let you guys know about the prize draw that I mentioned in the beginning. So we actually have a competition. It's a bit of a survey where if you can complete the survey at the bottom, one of you guys will win a 500 Rand Take-A-Lot voucher. Literally, that's it. You just have to provide us with your details and answer a couple of questions. It just helps us understand what is it that you guys are looking for? What are some of the questions that you guys have? Where are you guys in your career, and what is it that you want in terms of outcomes? As I said, if you can just fill that out at the bottom, it's in the description along with the contact request form. We're going to be randomly selecting a winner, and we're going to announce it on Monday, the 31st of August. So we're going to spend the weekend and go through all of the submissions and randomly select a winner. This brings us to the conclusion. I really appreciate everybody's time. We're just going to try and get Riaz on board for a couple of minutes just to have a chat to you guys. Give me 2 minutes, and let me just in the meantime see if there's any other questions that I can answer for you guys. Good question, Tavenga. There was also another question around tuition fees. Around the study material. Study material are all included. You would, however, need a laptop, your own laptop. We are working with a finance partner to try and assist you guys with this. And we will be able to send you guys specs on this specific laptop. But once again, I think it's best that you reach out to your admissions consultant because they can also understand your networking and connectivity structure towards that. Okay, cool. Riaz is going to be joining now. While I'm here, I'm just reading the questions again. Guys, I see a lot of questions and a lot of doubts just with regards to, are you going to be able to code? Is this something that's for you? Go through our trial. It's ideal because it'll give you an understanding of, does my mind work this way? What are the practical uses for coding? And is this something that's for me? Riaz is joining. So guys, once again, thank you so much for all of your time. Please make sure you complete the survey and enter the competition. Please make sure you reach out to your admissions consultant if you have any other questions, and stick around for the Q&A session afterwards, and you can easily learn and take from the questions that are asked and answered between the people. Riaz, over to you.
Hi, thanks, Shem. So thank you so much, guys, for attending our open day. My name is Riaz Mullah. I'm the founder and CEO at HyperionDev. And to start off with, I want to tell you a little bit more about my journey learning coding and how I came about actually starting the company. So, when I was young, I always liked computers. I always had a weird thing with computers. I was always on a computer. And in high school, I came across IT. It was a subject we could take at our school. And, we started learning Java programming. And I thought it was pretty cool. And I just like to build things. And so as part of a class project, I built a kind of online library. It was before the days of Amazon Kindle. So maybe it was, a bit like Goodreads, if anybody's used that website. Software you could browse like a virtual library and see books. And I went a bit really far and deep into it. I wasn't a particularly good coder, so I had thousands and thousands of lines of code to do really simple stuff in Java. But that's really how I started getting interested in coding. And so, I was 17, and it was, where should I go to, just pursue this interest further? At the time, I didn't know about software development careers. I didn't know about tech. I didn't really know anything other than what I had learned in this class at school. And, my teacher didn't know much themselves, being self-taught in Java. And so, I thought maybe I should learn a computer science degree. It sounds like a computer science degree is the most similar thing. And so I went and I enrolled at UKZN, University of KwaZulu-Natal in Durban. And I got to this computer science degree program and the first few weeks. And, what happened was the lecturer in the first few weeks was like, how many people in the class have learned to code or know coding? And, about 10% of the students put up their hands. And the lecturer said, well, good luck to the rest of you, because, from next week, we're going to be doing advanced Java programming. And so we'll have one lab session where you can go and just learn some Java by yourselves. And then from next week, we're doing this advanced Java. And you can imagine 6 months later, after results were announced, it was about 80% of the class that had failed that course, the first introductory course of the computer science degree. And when I looked closer, I saw there had been hundreds of students that had actually been there for years just trying to pass that introductory course. You can see from the student number, the date they first enrolled at the university, and you can work out how many years they've been still trying to pass that first coding part of the computer science degree. And that was really shocking, right? Because you think you go to university, you think they're going to teach you coding, you think you're going to come out and become a developer, you think they're actually just going to teach you, this practical skill that you can go and do something with, right? And so, I started this company, Hyperion, to address that problem. Our first model was, how can computer science university students in South Africa actually learn the coding skills they need to not just pass their degrees, but also become software developers and programmers? Because by that time, I had worked out, developers earn very well, they're in high demand, and generally speaking, a lot of students were there studying that computer science degree so they could become software developers. They just wanted to learn coding, and the solution out there just seemed to be, a computer science degree. And so Sabani, who's on this call at the time, was also a student at the University of Cape Town. I think he was doing his master's in computer science. And so we had this network of volunteers all across universities in South Africa in computer science departments. They were PhD students, they were undergrad students, there were even some lecturers and TAs, and they were actually the first Hyperion team. They built these coding courses, we taught one another online, we grew the courses on the campuses, we'd go and talk in lectures, hey guys, sign up for this free online HyperionDev programming course. And it spiraled out of control. In 2 years we had students from every single tertiary institution in Southern Africa, not just South Africa. So we're talking Zimbabwe, Botswana, Lesotho, even up to the UK. We had students studying computer science at Oxford, Cambridge, University of Edinburgh, taking this free Hyperion course to learn coding. And you could probably work out what that means. It's that, universities don't teach coding. They teach computer science, but there's a huge demand for people who want to learn coding to become software developers, even people who are already enrolled at university studying what they think is going to lead to them being a developer. And, I saw this myself deeply. I left UKZN and I went to study at the University of Edinburgh in Scotland, Cambridge, University of Pennsylvania, and, all through that time, all those degrees, all those programs, I never was really taught coding anywhere near as intensively as the basic Hyperion courses we developed and the courses today. Our HyperionDev bootcamps are super comprehensive, they're intensive, and they're designed to teach you a discipline of software development, whether web development, data science, software engineering, or in our immersive programs, a combination of these. And so here we are today. HyperionDev is the largest alternative to a university computer science degree in South Africa. If you're a working professional, obviously you can't just go and enroll in a full-time computer science degrees. Perhaps you could take a UNISA computer science degree part-time, but that will take you many years to complete. And we've grown to such an extent that parents come to us now wanting to enroll their children with Hyperion as an alternative to going into that 3-year long computer science degree at UKZN. So we've really surpassed all the expectations and surpassed, what we set out to do in the early days and actually become the best way to become a developer in Southern Africa, but also in other parts of the world where we do operate our bootcamp too. And so, in that journey, I think I've learned a lot about development and education. And I think that we're seeing a trend around the world for this type of workforce acceleration. So, a university degree and a computer science degree is there to teach you how to think and be a computer scientist. There is a career part of a computer scientist, designing algorithms, looking at complex optimization problems in machine learning and AI, in computational kind of genomics, computational anything, But 99% of jobs out there don't require those skills. 99% of companies out there are looking for people who can build websites, who can write backend code, who can write mobile code, who can do data science. And you don't need to have a computer science degree to do that. To be honest, after my computer science degree, so I finished an undergrad in computer science, an undergrad in AI, a master's degree in computer science at Cambridge, I went to work at Google. I worked in the Google search team. What I did at Google, I definitely didn't need a computer science degree to do. I don't think I even needed a degree to do it. But we see it now with all the hiring partners we work with. They can't find developers. They look at developers as how well they can do in their technical tests. They disregard whether people have a computer science degree or not, because employers have learned that just because somebody has a coding degree doesn't mean that they know how to code. They have to sit a technical test and do that coding test and perform well. And when I first applied to Google and even Amazon with my computer science degree, I couldn't do the coding test. I was horrific. I failed every single one of them. And I was angry that I had to go and learn all this coding myself from scratch, and the computer science degree hadn't helped me. And so this workforce acceleration, which is what a coding bootcamp is, has become incredibly popular around the world as this alternative accelerated route to becoming a software developer. And not only is it open for people who have just left matric and are looking to study full-time to quickly enter the workforce, but also people who are currently working in non-tech fields. We have a huge number of students who are working professionals, already have many years of full-time work experience, who learn on our bootcamps part-time and transition their careers from everything from being Uber drivers to accountants to designers to marketing people to salespeople. They transition their careers fully into being web developers, software engineers, data scientists, earning higher with higher job satisfaction and higher job security. And we're designed to help you make that transition, whether you're a working professional, whether you're a parent, or whether you're, a matriculant who's looking to leave. So with that in mind, I'll leave you guys to, reflect on what you've learned here in the open day. And I'm hoping to meet some of you in the future. Thank you so much for joining.
Are we still presenting? Hi guys, thank you so much for spending your time with us. Just once again, make reference to the chats and also the survey. Thanks a lot.